The British Museum. Sub-Basement 3. Department of Anomalous Antiquities. My name is Dr. Nathaniel Ashcroft, Senior Archivist, Custodian of Restricted Collections. What you are about to hear has been recovered from sealed files, letters, journals, and testimonies once thought too disturbing for public record. Every statement you hear is drawn from Britain's forgotten centuries, the whispered history that hides between faith and fear. These are the National Occult Archives, filed, preserved, never closed. The following document was never intended for public release. Case file NOA 1582M. Classification: Testimony of a parish priest. Date of statement: 21st September 1582. Location: Blackmoor, Lancashire. Author: Father Edmund Cartwright. Testimony 1. Father Edmund Cartwright. Do testify about the events at St. Godric's Church. The trouble began when we opened the north wall. Repairs were needed after winter storms damaged the stonework. Behind the plaster, we found a chamber no one knew existed. Inside sat a wooden chair facing the wall. On the chair rested a priest's vestments, folded neat as Sunday morning. The cloth had not rotted despite the sealed space. That night, I heard footsteps in the empty church. I thought perhaps a parishioner needed counsel. The nave stood empty when I entered with my lamp. Yet the footsteps continued overhead in the bell tower. I climbed the narrow stairs, calling out. No one answered my voice. The sound stopped when I reached the top, but I felt watched by something I could not see. The next morning, young Thomas the altar boy refused to enter the church. He said a man in old robes stood by the north wall. The man's face was turned away, pressed against the stone. Thomas ran before I could question him further. I visited the wall myself. The chamber opening had been sealed again with fresh mortar. None of my parishioners admitted to the work. The footsteps return each night after Compline. They walk the same path from the sealed chamber to the tower. Sometimes I hear them pause at the altar. Other times they climb the tower stairs as I once did. I no longer follow the sounds. The vestments from the chamber now rest in my vestry. I try to move them to the parish chest. Each morning I find them returned to my vestry table, always folded in that same careful manner. Last week I discovered marks on the north wall, Latin words scratched into the plaster from inside the sealed space. Non me relinquas, written over and over. Do not abandon me. I consulted the diocesan records about St. Godric's. In 1509, a priest named Father William disappeared. The bishop's notes say he was removed from his position. No reason given for his departure. No record of where he went afterward. I believe Father William never left this place. Something kept him trapped within that hidden chamber. Even now, he walks his final vigil, searching perhaps for the absolution he was denied. I cannot grant him peace. I lack the authority to release what should have departed 70 years past. The footsteps grow louder with each passing week. Soon others will hear what I have heard. Father Edmund Cartwright, parish priest of St. Godric's, Blackmoor, Lancashire, 21st September 1582. Archivist's note. Dr. Nathaniel Ashcroft. Diocesan records confirm Father William Ashby served at St. Godric's until 1509. His sudden removal coincides with heresy investigations in Lancashire. The sealed chamber was rediscovered during 1960s renovations, containing only dust and scratched plaster urns. As plaster, end of file, proceeding to next recovered document. The following document was never intended for public release. Case file NOA1647T. Classification. Medical report. Date of statement 8th November 1647. Location Greystoke, Cumbria. Author Dr. Josiah Merrick. Report 1. Dr. Josiah Merrick. Do record my observations of the patient at Greystoke Manor. Lady Catherine summoned me to attend her husband. Lord Greystoke had not spoken for 3 days. He sat motionless in his study facing the window. When I examined him, his eyes followed movements I could not perceive. His pulse remained steady, but his skin felt unnaturally cold. Lady Catherine explained the change began after his return from the old chapel ruins. He had gone there seeking relics rumoured to be buried beneath the altar stone. She found him hours later standing among the broken walls. He clutched something wrapped in rotted cloth. She could not see what he held before he thrust it into his coat. That night he took to his study and has not emerged, except when led. I attempted to rouse him with various methods. Neither laudanum nor bleeding produced any response. He would not eat or drink unless forced. Yet his lips moved constantly, forming silent words. I leaned close to discern what he repeated. The language sounded Latin, but spoken with strange emphasis. I recognized only fragments about penance and darkness. On the 4th day, Lord Greystoke finally spoke aloud. He asked why the monk would not leave him be. I questioned what monk he meant. He pointed to the corner behind my shoulder. Nothing stood there but shadow and panelling. He insisted a figure in brown robes watched from that spot. The figure's hands were clasped in prayer. Its face remained hidden beneath a deep cowl. Lord Greystoke begged me to send the monk away. I assured him we were alone in the study. He became agitated and tried to flee the room. Lady Catherine helped me restrain him while he screamed about cold hands reaching. I prescribed rest and isolation from any religious objects. The servants searched his study that evening. Hidden in his desk they found a small reliquary box. Inside rested a finger bone wrapped in ancient vellum. The Latin inscription identified it as belonging to Brother Ambrose. He had been walled up alive for unnamed sins in 1312. I ordered the reliquary removed from the house immediately. The curate took it to be reburied in consecrated ground. Lord Greystoke showed no improvement after its removal. He still insists the monk stands watching. Now he claims others have joined the vigil. 3 figures, he says, all waiting in patient silence. I fear his mind cannot be restored to reason. Whatever he disturbed in those ruins has followed him home. It will not release him from its attention. Dr. Josiah Merrick, physician, Greystoke, Cumbria, 8th November, 1647. Archivist's note. Dr. Nathaniel Ashcroft, Greystoke Chapel, was a Benedictine foundation dissolved in 1536. Local tradition speaks of a monk executed for theft of holy objects. Lord Greystoke died 6 weeks after Dr. Merrick's report. The reliquary mentioned has never been located in church records. End of file. Case closed to public record. The original document remains sealed within the vaults of the British Museum. Further access requires written authorization or curiosity strong enough to ignore the warnings. Until next time. These are the National Occult Archives.